Meeting to order. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Do we have any changes on the agenda?
Madam Chair, I would ask that there is an addition added for highway, a speed study for highway CASA 4. And I believe Jim will come in if you want to put that on under me. Okay. Yeah, so he'll speak to that.
Where do we want to? Right after County Administrator?
Correct. I don't believe he has any agenda items,
No.
is what I recall. Yes, and that. Yes, those are all the changes that I'm aware of.
All right, anyone else? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion for the agenda.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Anybody have any minute corrections?
Madam Chair, on page 2 of 4, under County Administrator number 3, motion second to approve per diem for next generation. It should be motion for commissioners, I would assume. On same page, number under environmental services, motion second to approve resolution. Well, it says it in the resolution, but amend tip fees for out-of-county waste. That it was just demo waste, isn't it? It's not.
Yeah, I think it was just demo, out-of-county demo waste.
Just demo.
On page 3 of 4 under zone and planning commission recommendations. On number 1, this conditional use permit is limited to 3 years. And I asked Kyle to come down here just to clarify. And I don't remember, is it going to be automatically revisited, but it will be renewed at that point?
I believe.
That's what I think we
he has to.
But the thing that you have to make sure or get to is,
Yeah.
are you going to re-advertise it, make them go through the permitting process, or are you just going to review at the board? I think that needs to be clarified, that 3-year permit.
Yeah.
Is it going to be reviewed by the board, or is it going to be null and void?
Is it just 3 years and then he has to go through the whole process?
My understanding, it was a 3-year, after 3 years, this would have to be reviewed and reapproved. But I don't know what the intent was or what the recommendation was. So I think that needs to
I believe the intent is similar to like what we've done with gravel pits. How have we done gravel pits before? Gravel pits, do they have to be do we resend notice?
Yeah, that one by Fort Detroit that Richard supported and pushed.
Yeah, and then I've been loved for it.
Madam Chair, it was my understanding that the 3 years, I thought that was like a transitory or transition.
It was a probationary time. Kind of.
Well, I thought it was only for those 3 years.
That's what I'm.
Because he's got other locations.
That they want to go to.
Yeah.
Right, so I thought it was just a 3-year and then done.
I took it as it was a 3 years, let's see how it's going. And revisit it in three years. So I guess we probably should get clarification.
Kyle was going to be down here. I texted him, and then the other one under zoning again, so he can clarify that one, but he'll need to clarify this. And he said this last sentence on the last motion on number 1 should not be there. So on the last bullet point under number 1, where it reads other amendments and of the conditions listed recorded document are subject to change or removal.
Wait, which one? Oh,
Yeah.
He said, because I asked him about that, I need
didn't
clarification on
understand
that. He said, yeah, that shouldn't be on there. So, but he was going to be down here and clarify those. So that last sentence might not be
Accurate.
But that was all I had those, but I think we need to clarify those two little.
So Madam Chair, do you want to just leave this and come back to this?
yeah.
Okay,
Well, if anyone else has, he should be here and.
Okay.
Sure. Anyone else have any?
I had those two, that's all I had.
I did not have anything.
Madam Chair, I had a just simple one on page 2 of 4. It's under 2 reports and correspondence. It's Prairie Lakes Municipal Solid Waste Authority. Just an A at the end there.
I'll make a motion to approve them.
Oh, we gotta wait.
We have to approve it. We have to get the wordage right before you approve it.
Yeah, that's what I would suggest.
Do we want to move on to the consent agenda while we're
I
waiting?
jumped the gun.
Anybody want to remove anything from the consent agenda? Or have any questions, or
Nope.
if not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Anybody here for open forum? Nobody wants to talk to us this morning. Everybody talked to us last night.
Yeah, they did.
All right, so let's move on to reports and correspondence while we're waiting for Kyle. Anybody want to start?
I was at a Lake Association meeting on Saturday. It's the Lake Ida one, and just for reference, Lake Ida is a spring-fed lake. And they, 20 years ago, put 25 maybe. So they had a natural discharge of the lake was just a creek with just a seepage and then going onto the township road into a marsh area that goes to Pelican Lake. At that point, they put the townships taxed the residents of that lake to put a culvert in, or a kind of a standpipe with a culvert and a drain, so it was a little bit better, and then a little cleaned out a channel to get that. So the height is solid and measured by the DNR, and so that's failing now, and they're looking at either joining the watershed. So they're probably going to, some residents are going to file a petition to join the watershed. There's a process to do that. I think the process comes to us then for approval for them to if that group wants to join. And one thing better, there's 2 ways to pay for this project. Best ways for them to pay for this project. One is to join the watershed, and the watershed will charge it back, and then get it reimbursed that way, and then they'll be in the watershed and pay annually. And the second one is they could do like they did the first time and ask the township to charge the residents on that lake for that over a period of time. Lake Ida does go into Otter Tail County, so they will not be able to charge that group, where the watershed could charge Otter Tail County because the watershed goes across border. And there's 7 or 8 properties, but those are usually some very nice properties on the island. So I'm not sure which way that they want to go, but that was the big topic. I had a whole list of things. I said, boy, you don't, and I'm smart enough to not, I didn't talk much at all. I just mentioned, I just know about that. I said,
about that. Thanks for the clarification.
All the other things. I went up and helped with the discussion about the watershed, but I said there's lots of things that I could talk about, but I know my audience, and I'm going to let you go eat. So I mentioned wake boats, that there's a process, and 3 lakes are looking at that, and I said I don't support that. Just so they were upfront about it, and said I would support 300 foot from shore, but that's, anyway. Do you want to go back to Kyle right now?
Yeah, we can.
He's here, and then we don't waste his time.
Come on up, Kyle. We've got a couple of questions for you.
And I mentioned to you one, Kyle. The other question we had was the conditional use for the transportation business for storage of homes and structures. It says, number 1, this conditional use permit is limited to 3 years. So my question was, is that renewed at 3 years?
It would expire automatically.
It would just expire at 3 years. Okay.
They'd have to reapply.
Okay.
And he was using this as a transition place, right? Just in the interim, it seemed to me he wanted to use his other sites. This was just until he got his other sites up.
Yeah, he was going to buy a business anyway.
His dad.
This is his business, but he's got 4 sites is what he said. And
Well, it was his intent to acquire another location.
regardless, in 3 years, then this will go away.
Or he'll have to.
Or he'll have to reapply.
Okay, then we're clear on that, and just is limited to 3 years, and just maybe put and then expire. And then the last one, that last sentence, Kyle, the other amendments to the conditionals listed in the recorded documents are subject to change or removal.
That could be removed.
Just that Okay.
That statement was just listed in the newspaper, noticed, for the simple fact that should other.
Discussion
Yes.
For during
during
Basically, we
All
left
of
it
it.
wide open so that everything was covered in the notice saying, hey, anything,
we could talk about anything.
we can talk about anything. The only, yeah, it's not just the cubic yards that's being changed here. For instance,
Like
the
the
berms.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that can be removed.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you. That's all we needed.
Thanks, Kyle.
I'll set that up as well.
All right, with that being said, do
I'll
we,
make a motion to approve the minutes with state changes.
all right, we have a motion from Dave to approve the minutes. Do I have a second?
Thank you.
Second.
Thanks, Kyle.
We have a second from Phil. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Back to the reports.
Continue on reports. Eric and I had a benefits committee yesterday, and we reviewed the dental quotes. Our dental, we had good rates in the past, very good rates, and I think it showed that our loss ratio was about 120%, so it was costing we are expecting about a 40% increase, which we found out was still better than a lot of other agencies. So I'm going to get some feedback from the employees on that. Looked at they're requiring some RFQs for life insurance and long-term disability because the county puts in money to that. So every 5 years, is it, we have to put that out for bids. There's a Healthiest You that we're going to get a presentation on, and that is a separate entity that will come and do some healthcare, telecommunication healthcare for us. And I don't know, we'll have to, I'm not sure the cost or how that cost burden is going to yet, but we're anticipating a big jump in our health insurance, not this coming year because that's set, but the year after that. So this is a way that we might be able to try to keep that increase a little bit more
Reasonable.
Yeah.
The hope
Probably
would be that employees would use that instead of their insurance because it's just a telehealth for like.
It's quicker, it's easier, you don't have to go in.
Yeah, yep.
But
And sounds like it's inexpensive, but then those visits don't count towards your health insurance,
if the cost doesn't go against your
which
deductible.
Doesn't go against deductible.
correct. And then our hope is to keep our health insurance usage down to try to mitigate some of the premium hikes that we are anticipating next year. And I think this year, what are we at, a 19% cap?
Yeah.
And we will
There's
be at the 19%.
Yeah, it's a 19.5, and we were looking at some preliminary numbers, and we're well above.
So good thing we had a cap this year.
Yes, it will hurt the next year for sure.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Nelson or Commissioner Jepson, benefits. So do you guys who's presenting in your meeting? Are you meeting with the unions on
Broker.
that too, or who's?
It's
There's
no, not,
employees.
the stewards are here from the employees.
There's representatives from each union.
So, and then we meet with,
And then
the broker
And
comes in
non-union.
and presents, and Tara and him kind of
Oh,
co-present.
is there just one broker, or are there several
It's
different from several different
The
agencies?
broker goes to all the different agencies, or all the different companies that will try to get the best quote from all the insurance. So that's
Madam
our broker.
Chair, the county has 2 brokers, one for our medical insurance, continuing to look for different agencies or
Yeah.
different rate. And then our broker that was present does all of our other benefits outside of our medical. So we kind of heard 2 pieces.
So this isn't really like union contracts, this is more working together to try to find the best.
Looking
Benefits.
for the best options most bang for our buck for our medical and for all of the other benefits from the county, and taking all the input from the employees.
Because in this scenario, our current dental, we have a kind of a unique program where we have two options. The low, which is just basically preventive dental, or a high, which helps offset your costs for cavities, bridge, all the other things. So there's two rates. Well, that's not really a normal practice for the industry, and some of your big businesses, insurance companies don't like the two, so they won't even bid two. So he's proposing possibly going to the one system, but in this case, those that had took the low option, will see a significant increase because now it's all, would be all lumped into one if those scenarios were the ones we chose, so.
Well, thank you. I didn't know that was happening behind the scenes, so thank you.
And just one comment, and I heard this from a couple employees. By switching providers, they have like not specialty services, but special, different services. They had to certify that they needed those, so they had to go to their specialist doctor, even though they were already, so that might be a consideration too. No, that's just that mean, obviously if the cost is way different, it's different, but if it's something that's similar.
And I know the last 2 times
We've changed.
it has been because it's been
Cheaper.
significantly cheaper.
I mean, obviously, yeah.
And that is a hard thing, and we do take that into consideration. And the committee does try to get as much input from employees when we're making that decision, but it's a tough call.
And I think this was the previous one, there was a company that dental offices did not take anymore. They did not want to honor that insurance because they were having some issues with it. And there are some dental offices that won't accept insurance patients at all because they're more paperwork. If you're part of that network, the doctor has to take their rate. And some doctors are saying, I'm full with cash payments. I don't need to take less rate. So so there's all those things to weigh when the employees give their opinion on which way to go. All right. We had courthouse committee. We discussed some of the, well, wait, we started from the bottom up, so I'll do that.
Start from the bottom.
That's on the agenda.
Yeah.
A couple things on the agenda. The domain names are, obviously, we're in the works of changing those. The commissioners, we're going to have to move to two-step authentication for us to go into, because there's been some attacks.
We talked about that at finance.
Coming after a highly regarded commissioner, I believe, so.
He's talking about himself.
Apparently they know who he is.
Yes. We talked camera replacement, know before training. And Judy was here. Judy was at our IT meeting and said talked about know before, and there are some departments are less, they're not up to speed on their, so we're encouraging all departments to get up to speed. And I mean, I think I'm behind, but I don't think I'm over 90 days.
Are we talking about the training?
The training, which I just did it.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I think and just for the employees too, Carrie gets after the commissioners if we don't do our training. She sends out us nasty grams. So, I mean, we do expect.
They're not that nasty.
No.
We do expect everyone else to be doing these. And I was a little bit surprised that we weren't more
I was too.
up on that. And so we did say we'd bring this up, and I asked for a list of people who aren't up to speed. So we will be reviewing that.
No judgment.
No, because we're all guilty of it at times, but we are asking all employees to move to get up to speed on that as quickly as possible. And I got a couple trainings left to do too. So if we don't get voluntary compliance, I think I will suggest that we see what other options there are. So
I think it's important to understand that those security trainings are.
They're important.
They're important because internet security is important, and you can lose a lot of money, you can lose a lot of information by just one wrong click.
There is a lot of redundancy in these trainings. There's a lot, but every once in a while there's something. Every once in a while, even the most person who thinks they understand it all will say,
good reminders.
That one I forgot about that. So, anything else to add? We did discuss some of the.
I think the cameras are on the agenda.
Well, some of the difficulties in in payroll right now, and I had brought up a concern about para. I don't know, did you go look at their para?
I did, actually did that, yeah.
My para didn't have any deposits in the whole month of May, so I don't know what happened there or why, but I have some concerns on why that happened. And did you want to talk about any structure? We discussed structure of the office.
I'm not really prepared to talk about that. My plan is
Well,
to talk
Carrie
about that
brought
in
up
the next
a
minute.
structure possibility, and we'll be looking at some structure changes in different areas.
Yep.
Anything else to
No.
courthouse?
I don't think so. I think everything else is on the agenda.
Switching to land use, Richard and I were I think we were both there, at the NRM meeting. I think I did ask that all of you receive this packet from Detroit Mountain. I don't know if you received
Email.
it. They're proposing a campground. We did offer support earlier to the regional park designation for the Detroit Mountain. They did purchase this property with some grant money. Their request is quite healthy of $174,000 for this campground. I did state that I thought that was a big ask, especially at the short timeline. They need this. They need this by the end of July, I think. Commitment. The dollar amount does not have to come till 2027, 28. I am not in favor of any general fund dollar going into this. I don't know that how we could support that with general fund dollar. I did say that, and Jim, I know Jim's here. I know he doesn't like me offering possibilities of sales tax money, but I did, like we did for Wanigan Park, we improved some of the roadways and I think for the Detroit Mountain originally. So I would think that we could look at.
Did they give any other options for like in-kind?
I talked to what's his name, Matt Thiel. I talked to him on the phone, and
He's
Tom.
here.
Oh, sorry, Tom. I insulted you, but
Tom is here if you have any questions.
And that was one thing we talked about was some in-kind and some possible smart tax usage money.
So
Yeah, Helen Foltz called me and then she caught me right at my job, so I couldn't get away. But she was saying the same thing in kind. And I don't have a problem with giving something, but $174,000 is a lot, and we don't normally help campgrounds. I mean, are we going to help every campground? This is my thing, because it really doesn't matter who owns it. And I believe all campgrounds are really good for our area. I just wish people would make some, because people are looking for them. But if how do we not support a private one if we're going to support this one?
You go back and forth, and we've talked about campsites ourselves on our land. And how do we get, so if we want campsites, they're going to cost money. There's no question about it. And if we put a primitive camping anywhere, it's going to cost us some infrastructure money and some, so you can, I was going back and forth how to looking this in your mind, and this certainly will help tourism. And I don't think there's any question, because you look at the availability of stuff in the proposal, and I mean, this will be a year-round campsite in some of these spots too. So I support something. It's not the full 174,000, but I think I think it has opportunity. This will be in Detroit, in the city of Detroit Lake's name, so I think they, would carry the bigger burden. But if we could designate some monies in 27 and 28 in our smart tax money to do road improvements for this project, to get to the project, and to maybe do some infrastructure work, that I could see some support for myself. I wouldn't support the whole 174,000, but there would be a dollar amount there that I think we could land on. That's my opinion. So I don't know if the board, my suggestion then would be for this discussion to be ongoing until a July meeting, and then have maybe a more formal presentation, and then from Detroit Mountain. And then if we choose to, we can make the decision at that meeting or vote on, maybe go through highway and.
That's what I was gonna say. I think have a more concrete plan of
Yeah.
what we would
How it
do.
works in the budget for highway, and if it's 2 years, it wouldn't,
Mhm.
so, maybe if Tom wanted to say anything too.
Tom, did you want to say anything?
And state your name for the record.
Absolutely.
Tom.
My name is Thomas Thiel. I am the general manager at Detroit Mountain. Appreciate the opportunity to speak. Yeah, I think with the campground, looking at it, I think it just has wide-reaching benefit for the regional community. I think it will bring more dollars in. I think there will be upside to it. And the ask really does, I recognize it is not a small amount of money by any means, but I think it does unlock a $2.3 million grant, which is obviously dollars that I think that we all could put to very good use. And as you kind of alluded to, the cost of developing a campground is expensive. So I think this is kind of, it's an easy way to get one going. Obviously, we're a public entity being Detroit, we are a nonprofit owned by the city, but I know that we are very much here to serve the public, and our mission is to basically expand outdoor recreation opportunities for the community. So I see a bunch of upside for it, but I also recognize the challenges of how you find those funding dollars and what I mean, I'll work with you in any way to help kind of provide some of those opportunities or options.
And just to refresh everyone, the sales tax dollars, I think when we started this, the sales tax money, I think 44% came from out of county taxpayer, the taxes are from out of county. So you could look at it, it's like those funds are coming from tourism dollars for a large part. And a large part of that does come from the city Detroit Lakes area. So I mean, we've done projects now, help projects in Frazee, and a smaller one out in some rural area. So, I mean, you can start to say, yes, I can see where these funds could help support this. That's where I'm coming from on why the countywide sales tax might be appropriate for this type of.
Yeah, I'm only saying this from experience, when we proposed the Toad Mountain purchase, and just the importance of getting that local, those that are around the mountain, input from them, just to get their buy-in, so you don't have challenges
The
in
township,
future.
you mean?
Yeah, township.
I definitely owe the township a meeting to discuss this in more detail. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And I will do that, just to make sure that I am hearing out any concerns or issues that they have with this. I don't expect traffic numbers to change dramatically. Obviously, there's the likelihood of more recreational vehicles being on the property with the campground. But, with troll traffic and everything else we've experienced the last couple of years, I don't think overall traffic numbers are going to change a lot, especially now that we're seeing troll traffic kind of level out a little bit. So again, I think we've seen the peak. I don't know if we're going to see anything higher than that. So hopefully that's not a concern. But then again, I want to make sure that we're hearing everyone out and that we're not stepping on toes. I don't think there's nearly enough campground opportunity for at least nightly camping in the community. So I don't think this is going to change anyone's business model by any means.
It's a definite huge need in our.
No, agreed, yeah.
Yeah, and I really hope that something this kind of helps supercharge the opportunities that we have for outdoor recreation in the community and get some more of that connectivity, being able to, part of the master plan that we have these grant dollars, or we are applying for these grant dollars from, includes Mountain View improvements and making sure that then, having that will get more use, I think, because of this campground. And then hopefully eventually we'll have a connecting trail through Ortonstone into the city of Detroit Lakes. Again, just tying everything together and getting more people out and about.
Madam Chair, Wanigan Park has this in their plans to a campground, not extended to overnight or weekend things. They have that in there too. I agree with everything you said, Barry. I don't disagree with anything you said. I want to make sure, is this a want or is this a need? We have to keep that in mind. We're looking at levy increases again this year. We haven't seen any final numbers, but you're 44% of out of county money coming in. All that needs to be rolled into a good reason to do this, but I don't want to forget about our taxpayers and levy. A taxpayer would say, why are you spending money on a recreational thing when we have needs in other areas? Like I said, I want to go out there, and I've got your emails, and I want to go out and look and stuff, but those are just some things we definitely have to consider.
The other thing I stressed at the meeting is I'm not real thrilled about the short turnaround for us to get a request for money, and it has to be in this timeframe. And we've supported the Wanigan Park, and we've supported the Detroit Mountain regional status for parks. That doesn't mean that we are financially obligated in any way to fund them. I just want to make sure that's clear, just like the airport. It's like there is no ongoing funding besides our commitment that on new projects. If you want money from us, I would prefer to be early on in the discussions rather than the last minute here.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
No, I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. And any questions at all, please reach out. Look, if you come out to the mountain and get a tour of kind of what we have envisioned, we would love to have you out.
All right. Thank
Thanks
you.
so much.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
I got the name right this time. No, when I taught at high school, I had a kid named, one of my students was Matthew.
Yeah.
So,
Going on to NRM, we talked about the little Sugar Bush Park. Mary wants to keep the gate up and keep that locked for some reason. Oh, no, Mary wants the gate down. We are a little concerned. We want to protect that building till it's out of there. But the
And
White
when
Earth,
was that coming out? By the end of the summer?
it was August, but they're hoping to get it out.
Sooner?
Yes.
October is the deadline when they need to have it removed, but hopefully soon.
There is a dock out there that the tribe has donated to that swim area. We're looking at improvements for day use for that area. Talked about the flock security cameras a little bit. I didn't think we needed the security cameras, in my opinion, at this time, but.
At
Richard?
Sugar Bush?
No, well, just more of a general at Dunton Locks and.
Oh,
Discuss Bucks Mill improvements a little bit. The shelter's finished out there, I think. And go down, I think we all received an invite from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife and the White Earth DNR for the signing.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Nelson, you said Bucks Mills shelter. I mean, you meant Dunn Locks shelter
Yeah,
was complete, but Bucks Mills.
Bucks
we're-
Mills
we're
improvement.
Thinking about building a shelter down there
that
near
came.
the dam.
They were talking about, we did bring that up, and I didn't think that was a necessary or needed.
Okay.
That's my opinion. I don't think we need a shelter at the end of that entrance. I think just a park bench, maybe. I don't know if we need a picnic shelter area.
To be discussed at committee. We'll get back to it.
Madam Chair, just, I know I said I'd tell you the time on the
11
Tamarack
to 1.
signing. It is 11 to 1.
I just see that in my notes
what's the
from
date again?
June
30th.
30th.
June 30th, 11 to 1.
They would like, if anyone is interested in going, they would like a number because it's limited seating area, I believe. We did also then review the Rush Lake Road Cemetery survey. And there's that cemetery that we want to make sure gets back to the church so they can maintain it. That's a old cemetery that's very overgrown and with underbrush, and
Where's that at?
And they've been cleaning it up.
as we go now,
They've had volunteers out there working on it, and
And it's not with the church now?
the church will maintain it and take care of it.
yeah, they moved the
It's-
church, didn't they?
Yeah, the church was moved in the 40s maybe or something, and do you have I don't have a map. Steve, do you know what township or where that cemetery is? What's the church name? It's a Catholic church. So they will maintain it. There's been burials there, and the last one was like in the 40s, I think.
Oh, so the county owns the property.
Yes,
but
and we
we're
want
working
to
on getting it
deed that back to the church so they can maintain
Got
it.
you. Now it makes sense.
So, and that's been going on, and there's some spirits out there, so there's been some lack of upkeep, and cemeteries are a little.
I'll look next to
Well,
one.
some of them people didn't make it out of there.
Out of the cemetery?
Legend has it.
That's what they said. They went out there and worked, and then Barry, just
Oh.
one more thing, the tribe, so they gave us that dock, but then they're actually talking about bringing out that machine to clean up that beach area.
Oh, that would be nice.
So this has been a good partnership with them.
Mm-hmm.
What was that machine called? It goes on skid steer, right?
Brush cut?
No, it was something.
It's
I
some-
never
that's
heard
what
of
it does. It's-
before. But it's
Some brusher.
I guess it grinds everything right down into the dirt and leaves it right there. and
Yeah, we have
turns
one
out-
at Highway too.
Yeah, I can't remember what they.
What are they called, Jim?
Yeah,
I think
There-
the jig-
I think there's
Yeah.
different,
that's it.
there's different names. It's just a stump grinder that goes down in the dirt, but there's
Yeah.
different sizes. I know a gentleman has a huge one that NRM used a few years ago. Or Highway did. We did ground up the stumps by Lake Park, right outside of Lake Park. The only thing else I wanted to mention was, Jim, I think at some point, the MnDOT discussion at Audubon with the light system, with the traffic light system and options, I think I would like to have this board weigh in on what we think is the best option with MnDOT, because I believe that we are a partner, as we have two roads going in and out of that town, and maybe we invite the city of Audubon down the road and the county and MnDOT to have a little discussion here, because one of the proposals, so this was a while ago, I think I mentioned it, was a J-turn, and I have not heard anyone have any support for a J-turn in that area, and closing all the accesses, and I think
I don't
it's a
think anybody
complete-
likes J-turns.
Well,
But
in
it
this,
must
going
be-
into a municipality, I think is the worst thing that you could do. I mean, I don't have a problem with them out in the country where they're low use.
In Audubon doesn't make sense, no.
No, and you're limited by a lake. So there were some things on that was presented which struck some real hard nerves. And
You know, there's that one by Luce there. and
I would like
don't
us
like
to
it,
have a
but-
dialogue with the city of Audubon and give what we think would be the best options. And I can accept closing some intersections, you know, for safety reasons, but there are some real reasons. Just the other day, there was about 5 days that the railroad was working on that crossing. Traffic had to be rerouted and to reroute that, I mean, luckily they have another approach crossing Highway 10. If that approach wouldn't been there, I don't know how you were going to reroute that, but there was people driving along on a dirt path to get, I mean, so there's some there, and if you restrict that more, it would be a nightmare. If there's an accident on one intersection, you have to have a second crossing, because it's 2 or 3 miles each direction before there's a crossing there. So
And if you had a light, you'd slow people down, then they could use those crossings easier. I use them all because you can't get back on, you can't get across 10 if you go in the truck stop, so you gotta go back east, get back on the highway.
cross,
then you-
get in one lane and then get over. to
Yeah,
the-
then you can get over.
Like
to
a
the-
J-turn.
Well, except not one.
Right. It's an option for us smart.
I don't like the J-turn.
So, anyway, and I was gonna bring up the speed study on CASA 4, but that's on the agenda, so that's it.
All right, who's next?
Dave, you wanna-
I'll go next. So I had a historical society meeting, and just one thing that's happening is this Friday and Saturday is the Lumberjack Festival at the fairgrounds. It's on Friday, it's from 10 to 8, and on Saturday, it's from 10 to 5. They're going to have there's a company that's coming from, I'm not sure where, I can't remember, but they're going to do lumberjack activities, like log sawing and chopping and whatever, hot saws, and they're going to have, so it's kind of like what you see on TV, except probably not quite as fancy. And they're going to do that 3 shows on Friday and 2 on Saturday. And then on Saturday, there's going to be a pancake feed in the morning, and in the afternoon, they're going to have a loaded baked potato feed. So it should be, they're expecting lots of people, hopefully, and they have some vendors that are going to sell lemonade and brats, and they have some other vendors that are going to sell, trinkets like lumberjack stuff and things of that sort. So hopefully everybody's going to go, huh? Maybe, yeah. It'll be good. Yeah, and that's the nice thing too, is the county's not open Friday, so in most businesses aren't open either, so that's a positive thing.
Say most business will be open.
Well, most businesses will be open, but public entities will be able to go there.
Banks might be closed.
Yeah, banks will be closed. Okay, well, we also had an AMC District 4 meeting. We had a lot of discussion about a lot of stuff.
Way to detail us.
Well, I don't detail.
Informative.
So one of the things, the state member is changing the delinquent age from 10 years old for children to 13.
Yep.
So that's going to be a huge impact on child services and human services.
Yeah, I think that's actually going to have a bigger impact right at the moment than the
Then,
math procedure VBA.
yeah, I think you're right. It's going to be a big thing. And
So for those of us, I mean, and I kind of understand, but can you explain, Erica, what that means exactly?
The changing the delinquency?
Yes, so obviously we'll have more,
Yeah, so right now, anyone 10 to 13 goes to probation. If they get in trouble,
they can be in
they
a
don't
secure
come-
site.
Yeah.
Yep, they can be in a secure site, they can be on probation, they can be court ordered to services.
And some of these youths are, I mean, they don't look like a 12-year-old.
Yep.
Some of these young people can be violent and be very hard to handle and strong. And
Yep.
so it puts a strain now, they have to be handled.
Yep, so now, like, we can send them to, like, our West Central Regional
they're
Juvenile
allowed
Juvenile
there
Center
because of
we're
age.
allowed to. Starting August 1st, any youth age 10, 11, 12 can no longer go there, and they can no longer be on probation. They're no longer delinquent if they shoot somebody or rob a bank or, I mean, get caught vaping. You know, there's all, string of crimes, but it's though they're no longer considered delinquent, and they will then be referred to human services, so the child welfare for those services.
And in the extreme cases, you don't have the tools necessarily to probably
And yes, and
manage these.
they're no longer able to go to a secure unit, which then leaves the non-secure, more behavioral mental health facilities, which we have a massive shortage of in this state. I mean, there's, I don't know that we see it here, but more down, in the metro area and other, I mean, they're sending them to Arkansas and Wisconsin because we don't have facilities closer that are willing to take, especially those super high needs.
Yeah, so just trying to explain how big a deal this can be, especially if you have one or two cases can end up costing a
Yes.
lot of money. I mean,
And our probation, especially our juvenile probation officer is fantastic, but
so,
that's no longer will be taking those 10, 11, 12-year-olds.
yeah, it's, and it might not be as big a deal as we think, but at times, and it will be, but.
Yeah, I know at our West Central Regional Juvenile Center meetings, like there are some concerns for counties that do have those in that age group and what, they can go to non-secure, but they're not going to be able to go to their secure unit.
Can a judge then order that even though if the juvenile just leaves and goes out and commits more, can a judge finally say enough is enough, this one is going to be insecure?
I mean, I don't know. I think a
In
judge
extreme-
can order it, but
extreme cases, maybe.
I don't know that, when you take the juvenile center, for instance, like they have licensing requirements and their licensing would only be for that certain age.
So it'd be
And-
under judge's order only, I would assume.
Yeah, I don't even know if that will work. I mean, I don't know. That would be a good
Yeah.
question for Brian, but
Okay, thank you.
And then also too, we talked, this is on the agenda, but they talked about the Larry Hill Act and the language was amended. And that, like I said, it was in the consent agenda. But I just wanted to bring it up because this was a big deal for our nursing at the jail. And so they've made it a lot easier now for our nurses or medical professionals to make decisions about what medications these people should be on. And should they stay on the ones they are taking or not, who knows, so they can do their evaluation. They still have to make an attempt to contact the medical doctors from before, but there's a lot of times they get no response. So they don't have to continue to keep trying. They can use their judgment and their professional judgment. So that was a big deal for.
it's good news.
Yeah, it is good news. And then, one thing on disability waivers, starting in 2028, there's going to be a funding change. So, for example, disability waivers like for, let's say, I'm on the DAC board, so the waivers that the county pays for their clients to go to the DAC, that funding is going to change. So that could affect the DAC and then whatever other organizations that we do waivers for. So that could make a big difference. So that's another issue that could be coming. And then MCIT has a new cybersecurity coverages for counties. There's a possibility to get an additional $1 million coverage for cybersecurity. Now, at the time of this meeting, they didn't know the cost. And I don't know, Carrie, is there any more information on that? Yeah. So that's how big a deal cybersecurity is. It's huge. And we're actually, I think Judy, does whatever we let her do.
Going on with that cybersecurity, where are we as far as having an email retention policy? Are we still working on that? Okay. Because that goes along with that.
Yeah, it does, yeah. Yeah, and so there's going to be some requirements. So if you get the $1 million coverage instead of the 500,000, there's going to be probably requirements like that with email and trainings and so forth. And we do a lot of that now, and we're getting better, Like, I think when we talked about emails, about multi-factor authentication, I think us 5 might be the only ones that don't have that.
Madam Chair, speaking of that, I sent you all, while I was sitting here, instructions on the multi-factor authentication app.
Maybe you could have a short class with us after the meeting to get us to that point.
Came from Judy, so I let Judy know that I forwarded it on.
Is there anything else anybody else have anything else on the AMC conference, District 4? All right, that's all I had. I spared you guys the pain.
You want to go next, Richard?
I'll go next. I had interim with Barry, he covered that. And I had human services with Erica. And I'm gonna let Erica cover that. So the only other thing I had was safety. And we talked again about tobacco-free public places. And so what we ended up, because I'm not for a complete, so we talked about maybe some designated places where people could go smoke. We talked about the fairgrounds, what do you do about the fairgrounds? I don't know, they talked about if we're in the bleachers there and, maybe we could make that no smoking. Maybe
Do we have control over the fairground
Well,
to make it smoke-free?
And
so it has to be brought to the fair board.
That's just what I was going to say. The fair board will have the authority to say if their grounds are smoke-free or not.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so, we're talking about the whole county though.
Yeah.
So, and there'll be different places where, and so, we have some smokers here. I'm not a smoker. It'd be nice if nobody smoked, but for people to, if they go down to the corner here, I don't know.
But it's not even just smoking, it's chewing tobacco.
It's chewing tobacco too, which really isn't hurting anybody but the guy chewing it. So
As long as they don't throw the snooze on the food.
yeah, but that's littering. But then, so I don't know. I don't have all the answers for this, but I don't know if they talked about you could sit in your car in the parking lot. Again, we talked about that. If your windows are all the way up, and I'm just imagining some guy out there with his windows up.
Is there
smoking? And
is there a way to? I know the answer to this question, but if is there a way to say, you can't smoke if it's having a negative effect on someone there. If you're out in the parking lot, no one's there. Who cares if you're smoking?
Well,
that's my point. It's like
that's what I'm saying. And so,
well, I think part of if we recall from the presentation, fellas, the purpose of a smoke-free work environment is to try to encourage
them
to quit and them.
Well, we're talking work environment now, but.
Yeah, well,
now he's talking county-wide. I mean.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I do not, Commissioner Varberg, I don't remember talking about county-wide. I thought it was our buildings or something.
So this got a little deeper in the safety meeting.
Yeah.
And that's, it gets pretty deep and.
Well, when the guy from Clay came, he did say that the goal would be the countywide, and
Yeah.
I don't support countywide myself. But-
No.
But depends on what the term countywide
Yeah.
means.
I mean, a countywide campus,
Or county.
like our
county
county-owned
grounds?
property.
Facilities.
County grounds?
Mm-hmm. So, more to come.
Yeah, more to come, but
I mean, did you talk about
So-
like the snowplow driver who smokes? I mean.
Well, but I thought it was the buildings.
Right, but
yeah, so we did, so you're not allowed to smoke in our county vehicles. That's a no-no, whether you're a deputy or who you are, you're not allowed to smoke in them. But
do you want me-
if there's some place down here or over there where the smokers are smoking and you don't want to smoke, get the smoke, don't go over by them. I mean,
Sheriff-
go around them.
Sheriff Glander can tell you there's no smoking allowed in the jail. So, I mean, when I started, there was smoking allowed and the inmates could smoke. And that was a big
That
deal,
was a long time ago, Barry.
taking that away from inmates. That was thought to be,
Was it like 1962?
yeah, it was thought
It was
this
at least in the
gonna be-
1900s.
But I mean, if you, the thing of this is, you know, that's a stressful environment and if inmates can make it without smoking for the whole
Yeah, I
time
don't
they're in
know, You
there.
know, if we're gonna force people to give up their habits, I think people can make their own decisions. I'd love to see everybody quit smoking, but I'm not here to force them into anything. So I don't know. They're gonna come back with some recommendations for us. And then
Well,
we'll
I'm appreciative, like on the city beach, if you're there, I would appreciate I would like no smoking. This is a city ordinance, but no smoking if I'm sitting next to someone watching the parade. I don't want the person next to me smoking and all that smoke
No.
coming at me. I mean, so if it's got a negative effect on your neighbor, you shouldn't be doing it.
No, and that's right. And I agree with that. I don't want little kids breathing. I don't want anybody putting up with it. But are there places that people could go and have a cigarette? I think we do have places where they could, and I don't know how you would do all that, but yeah, anyway, that's all I have.
All right. Do you want to go next?
Sure. Went to the fairgrounds for the drone, the sheriff's drone regional thing. It was very, very interesting. Thanks for putting it on. Shane did a great job. Got to fly a drone a little bit. It's not as hard. I did. Didn't go in the car, in the window, or in the building, but I flew it outside a little bit. I got on one of our boats. They were using a drone and the boat to find a body supposedly underwater. So went out with that with Nick, and that was very informative. County ash. So I had some pictures taken. We're right now, we talked about the Prairie Lakes ash being put in the road. I took a couple pictures here. This is happening out on County 40 right now. That truck just dumped that ash right there. And then the blade comes behind it and spreads it out. I mean, you would think that even that could be class 5 or something. So it was working pretty well. Next slide. There are some impurities in it. That's a piece of wire that's sticking out. We need to get a little bit better at our trommeling and getting some pieces out. That was a small piece. There were a few bigger pieces in there too, but Brian Shepard took me out there. That's his boot, just for comparison there. This is at the county line, County 40, where we start, and that road, that was done a few days before. You can see the white in the road. Next slide, if you can see it. Yeah, I can't see it very well here, but you can really tell that there is the ash really shows up as white, and it gets really, really hard. Bakes it in.
Is that the base then, Jim? The ash?
Underneath the
base?
bituminous. Yep.
So like that wire sticking up, the asphalt will go over that.
It
correct?
will.
So I mean,
Yep,
that's not a wire sticking up when you got 3 inches of asphalt over it, right?
right. The one thing too, Brian said, he said that the ash this year doesn't smell as bad as it did last year. I didn't notice much smell with it, but remember, it is ash coming out of a burner and then was stored and trommeled. Right here, that's a reclaimer right there. You see that white material on the road. We did a mile, I think, Jim. That is actually fly ash, correct, Jim? So that's it's what they use for cement. So we did a mile test of that fly ash to see if that holds up better. So we got a few test cases on this road. That reclaimer will go ahead. he's digging that in right now, reclaiming it. And that's right at the intersection of, I think, Toad Lake Store and 40. But that's a reclaimer. He's mixing it all together is what he's doing. They'll come buy it with a blade and even it out, pack it, and then they'll put the tar over the top.
Is this
So
39 or is this by Wolf
Asphalt.
Lake?
this is 40. It's right by Wolf Lake
Oh, so it's not Toad
Road.
Lake Store.
Remember, tars for roofs.
Yeah, okay. So that's that. We can go to the last one here. And I just wanted to show you this. So the little problem, this stuff gets to be a little thick here. It doesn't smooth out really well. Is that the beginning of it, Peggy? Okay. So there are some concerns that we're working on. We wish that was a flatter surface there, but it's still going to be ground in but it does sheet a little bit. You know, it gets a whole sheet. If it gets packed down, once it gets packed down, you can't hardly blade it. So some concerns, but I'm glad we're doing it. And it takes a little more effort, a little more work, but we're getting rid of that product. We're saving space in our ash facility. So
So
this is
the
good.
ash, Jim, you couldn't just put ash on a gravel, like a driveway, and just leave the ash as the exterior?
You wouldn't want to do that.
Gravel road, then we would probably top it with virgin aggregate,
Okay.
class 5.
Would it get slimy, kind of like we had?
No, it doesn't. It really packs hard and, it binds to the material on the road. So it's not like it doesn't get flayed.
It wouldn't be a last surface for a driveway. Why would that not work? So if someone just put it on their driveway, why wouldn't that be?
Well, you'd have to blend it with it, so.
Blend it with
and grind
class
it,
5?
and it's gotta be.
Probably
mixed
is.
with the aggregate, just by itself,
But then you wouldn't be able to really,
it would get slimy. And
Okay.
you wouldn't be able to blade it as well down the road with class 5. If you had that in it, wouldn't that harden that up so stiff? I think some of that, I'm not even sure the blade can go over it. It was rock hard.
Yeah, when it turns up, when they mix it with the gravel, it turns rock.
And that's what we're trying to get. We're trying to get a good base subgrade, right?
I'm
We
just-
can put the tar over the
You might
top.
not-
I'm just asking if, not a paved road, but just a driveway, if that would be something where you could put on, be acceptable to make it so
And
it's.
if it gets rock hard. you
If
would
it's
need
less
to-
expensive than asphalt,
Yeah.
and you could,
And the contractor has worked up in Polk County, and he is actually, during their crushing operations, they mixed it in with the aggregate and stuff like that. So that would be the best way to
okay.
apply it to.
And then apply it to a low traveled road and just leave it blade it around and,
Mix it in with their aggregate for gravel roads?
Correct, yep.
Oh,
Yep. But they still, for the PCA rules, it has to be capped.
has to be what?
that was my question, So you can't leave it exposed.
Pavement or
Oh,
gravel.
okay,
gravel over top.
okay.
Would it be the same as for somebody's driveway, though? Would you have to follow the same rules?
Yeah, I would assume PCA would
Yeah,
require it not being exposed.
okay.
But it's a good way to use this ash up. It goes into our ash facility as a hazardous material. It comes out, we put it in the road, and being capped, it's not a hazardous material, and we're using it up, so. Last meeting, I said that concerning the construction and demolition, the Stantec presentation, I said I don't think we need to do that, but I kind of changed my mind a little bit, and they would do a video presentation. I wanted them to do it this meeting, but they weren't prepared, so I think in July or August, they would come back, and I think you guys need to hear it, not only from me, maybe you guys can pick something out that I didn't, but we have our meeting tomorrow, one of our final meetings. I think that is our final meeting. And then they would do this presentation, it's supposed to be 10, 15 minutes about the last year, the C&D thing. They would come in and present their findings to the group. And I'd ask them to do that, so we'll put that on the agenda. I'm not sure exactly when. Barry, I have to defer. I went to a city council meeting here in DL, and they had their audit. They got nicked on the segregation of duties as well, so I was wrong and you were right, and that is a pretty much a.
Good job, guys.
And that's really hard to say that you're right, Barry. But it did come up. I just happened to notice it, and so.
I think everybody gets next.
So moving on, so I don't have to live in that moment. AMC district meetings, Dave pretty much covered everything. Just one thing, the district is a District 4. The main rep for that is Bill Stearns, and I just want to pass on. He's been a long time commissioner over in Wadena County. His wife passed away a couple weeks ago, so just so you're aware. Pretty much what Dave said, but county's concerned about budget increases, the SNAP rollout, and then the cost shifts again. One thing I took note of was we did get that social services modernization thing passed.
Yeah.
So it's 90 million in the biennium the next couple of years. So we'll get the wheel of death hopefully figured out on your computer. So that's going to be happening. They've got a group there that are working on how they're going to implement that.
That 90 million, just so you know, the wheel of death is, we already have funding for that. And that's being worked on. It'll still be probably several years, but that 90 million is to modernize all of the rest of the social service systems, which
needs to be done.
I think.
it does very much.
The trick of it is, I think what we've heard in the past is how do you make them communicate all together?
Yep, and that's the goal, which hopefully now that we're updating them all at the same time, maybe that's possible, but.
The only other thing I took away, which I thought was kind of funny, the tab fee is going to be reduced. Your tab fee on your vehicle is going to be reduced for 2027.
I was going to say for 1 year.
But it's going to go right back up in 2028.
Yeah.
Can we pre-buy like 10 years?
Yeah.
I asked that question then.
Yeah. I had RAC, Recreational Advisory Committee. We toured Sugar Bush again. One really good thing that came out of there, Jason from White Earth was out there. We formed a subcommittee as to what to do with that little Sugar Bush area. Barry kind of covered most of it. Howard and Karen were going to be on that with Jason, and they were going to come up, maybe do some trails out there, try to keep people away from the lake, so you can walk down there, maybe make a trail down there or something. But they were going to do a little subcommittee and report back. I'm wondering what the reason is for the RAC here a little bit. I mean, it's an advisory committee, but NRM covered everything I was going to cover from being on the RAC anyway. I don't know if there's some duplicity that we want or don't want, but I think it's something we should consider down the road. We hired our new employee working with the DNR to do the 53 accesses. So he's up and rolling now and got his hands full, I'm sure, in learning, and Mitch is nurturing him along. Heartland Trail, had a meeting there. Jim, I'm glad you're here. We talked about this morning a little bit, but please fill in. The Frazee Trail, it looks like the DNR is not going to allow us. There's some, it's a little bit too, it's not as flat as they wanted. Or
ADA compliant.
It's not ADA compliant. And the guy who, the DNR guy, he's about ready to resign, Kent Scar, but he said, no, you can't get away, you can't just, you have to fix it. So fixing it would either be, what I understand, milling down the middle, which would, the trail wouldn't be as strong, or adding something to the edges in places or most of the place, which, you know, that would be a hazard almost, riding a bike or something, tripping over. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen yet, but that feeds into extending the Heartland Trail. We wanted to use those funds that were left over to work on the next phase of the trail, down to Bucks Mills, Dunton Locks, over to North Pearl, down to Cormorant. But we can't do that until we get this resolved. So, and we have to use that money by a certain time. Supposedly the DNR is going to, they expect Haug, who was the contractor on that, to fix that. Haug is pushing back. So that might turn into a lawsuit. We don't want that $500,000 to go away. We're trying to expand that corridor, the Heartland Trail corridor, to include Cormorant, which it doesn't include right now. So we're kind of stuck as to, we don't want to lose that 500,000 is what we don't want to lose. One suggestion, actually Kelsey Clem suggested this, getting down to the golf course, the golf course is still within the Heartland Trail, the corridor. So going down that way, we'd be able to use some funds with some design funds. We'd still need to get the money to build the trail. It'd be along Highway 59 because WeFest doesn't want us to go through their property. So those are some things we discussed. We're kind of everybody's kind of looking at each other. We don't know exactly where to go from here. Kent Scar is retiring in July. The guy who's taken over, he'll be brought up to speed on everything that's going on, but we don't know exactly what's going to happen there. Jim, do you have anything to add? Okay. Thank you. Okay, so the only other thing is Eagle Lake. We had a Zoom call. Carrie and I were on the Zoom call with Steve and Mitch. Several DNR people were on there. It looks like that is going to move forward. We need to work out some details. There's playground equipment down there on that property that they do not want to be responsible for. So I've called the city of Frazee, and Hank Ludke was a big promoter, and I think he's the one who kind of got that playground equipment in there. So we're working on a plan to get that out. There's 2 lion shelters there too at Eagle Lake. Talked with Mitch. I think we could handle them, take care of them, but the DNR doesn't want to be responsible for them. So working on that now. So we just had that Zoom call yesterday. So
Those shelters are used quite a bit.
Are they?
It's amazing how much,
I would say,
a lot of our conversation was,
I was thinking
we don't
playground
see much
equipment is
traffic
too, but-
down there.
yeah, so I've gone by there quite a bit.
Weekends?
Yeah, on weekends too.
Yeah.
I have a big black dirt pile just
Yeah.
on the other side of that. And I can't believe how much those shelters are used. And that little park, I can't believe there's always people in there.
That's really good to know because I've driven by there, 10 times in the last couple of years, which isn't a lot, but I've never seen anybody there.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
no, it is used a
I'm
lot.
surprised how much it's
Mitch.
used, so.
Madam Chair, just one thing to add to that. With the playground equipment, the discussion we had is that this is used equipment, so it may be at the end of its lifetime. So those are the questions that we're trying to get answered.
yeah.
The owners, the nonprofit investment group there, they really want to get this, they'll do what it takes to get this out of their hands. Some liability issues for them, not only the playground, everything. They were the interim until the DNR could take over, but the DNR does sound interested. But some of these concerns need to be resolved before that we move forward. I asked for a timeline. I don't want to tell you what they said, but
Not
year and a
soon.
half
Oh,
to get
well,
it
that's,
done. So
I think
for
that's
the
pretty
DNR, that
good.
might be pretty good.
That was better than I thought it was.
Double
gonna be.
digits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
all I got. Thank you, Erica.
All right, well, the only meeting I had was just Human Services. Everything is on the agenda. We're going to talk about the opioid settlement recommendations. But one thing I did want to bring up is, it was brought up at our Human Services meeting, is the state did, and I can't remember if I said this before, but we had our Title IV review with the feds as a state, and Becker County did, I believe, have 2 files that were reviewed in that, and it's a review that happens every 3 years, but we did not do it. I think the last one was 2018 due to COVID. So the state passed with 0 error cases. I think they review 80 cases, 100. They receive 100 cases, review 80 cases, and they're allowed 4 error cases, and they received 0 error cases. So the county, or the state passed that, and Becker County had a part in them passing it. So that's all I had.
Madam Chair, I had a couple other things to add. Sunnyside had their state survey. I forgot to mention, we did have a meeting with at Sunnyside. The state survey came in and they gave such high accolades to Sunnyside. They said that they were chosen for a pilot focus survey this year, and that they passed deficiency-free. The surveyors were very complimentary of Sunnyside. They said that Sunnyside is by far the best nursing home that they have surveyed, and the excellent care provided. So just a shout out to the staff at Sunnyside, and Ashley is doing a great job out there, and the more, the employees, I think, are the asset to that building, so. Financially, we're not doing so well this year. The rates are supposed to be changed when that rate change comes from, I think it's July 1?
July 1.
I mean, January 1?
January 1, it'll be retroactive.
We should be at cash, bring us back to about a zero loss. Right now, we're at a loss, but if you remember last year, we had about a $500,000 gain because of the grants and that one-time money.
Employee retention credit.
And then just a sad bit of news, a former employee that was in our IT department, Brad Olson, passed away. I don't know, Mary probably maybe Jerry remembers him from way back. And then I just would like to also give a shout out to the tribal had their election, and challenger Jacob MacArthur won the Secretary of Treasurer, so congratulations. And Henry Fox won re-election. And is it Ulrich? Akabe won on the
Son.
Yeah, Son. One District 2. So congratulations to those, and hopefully we have a good working relationship with them too. So as Richard pointed out earlier, I think we all benefit from good relationships. Now, we're not going to obviously agree on everything, but when you know people and you know that it helps build that trust a little bit better. So thank you.
All right. Anything else for reports? Appointments. Looks like we have Cormorant Lake Watershed. We have
Yes. I gave Peggy the name and address. Let me get down to where we are. Madam Chair, I'd like to appoint Steve Hansen to fill the Mike Foley position.
Second.
All right. Any further discussion?
That's to fill one position. There was another retirement, right, Barry? So there will be another one coming. Won't be the same one. I'll find somebody else.
Yes, and it states in the letter, but I was going to mention this after the vote, but Ellis Peterson has resigned due to health reasons. Ellis has been such a staple in that board and been one of the people that you really call and ask for guidance. So thank you for his years of service. It's a sad day when he's not on that board. He brings it. Board has been a really good working board that works with the people that they have contact with and try and find solutions. They're not the strong arm of government telling you what you got to do. They work and find solutions when there is an issue. So thank you to Ellis and his years of service, and wish him well in his retirement from the board. But yes, we will have to post another opening as we speak. His resignation says with June 2nd.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to appoint Steve Hansen. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. All right, on to Carrie.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just wanted to update. I was going to ask Steve this question. I believe the fencing out at our landfill road to 145th began yesterday. Is that accurate? Oh, Steve, he wasn't there. Oh, sorry. It was slated to begin yesterday. I have not been out there myself, so I'm not clear if it did start. Just wanted to bring, and you perhaps all saw this, but there is some future grant opportunities or funding opportunities for court security and such. So I know that there's been some discussion amongst counties or questions asked as far as what that may cover. So that might be something this county wants to take a look at. I know there's been prior discussions about what we may want out here. And the Sheriff's Department has had some ideas in the past as well. So that may be something good for our county to take a look at. There was some mention of some training, and I just wanted to update. We will have some further discussions in the department head meeting by department as far as tracking not only the security on computer systems, but also looking at our safety training that's required by all of our employees. And again, the intent is to really look at where we are, because both of those items are extremely important and need to happen, with employees. So yes, there'll be further discussion on that. I was hoping that we would be a little bit higher in those items as far as, employees completing those. And yes, you will get reminders from me again. There's a few of you that,
I just want to say that I am 100% current.
oh, I am as well.
As of yesterday.
Good job.
We're going to have a call. There was a call to me with regards to our Verizon tower out on Highway 113. We tried to get additional information prior to them scheduling a call with us. I believe that might even be today, later. So more to come on that. It was very vague as far as what the topics were, but we're scheduled.
I got to make a comment on that. So I went fishing at Bad Medicine last week, and I got phone service on the lake for the first time ever. So it was awesome.
Nice.
So I will update the board once I know what the questions or the concerns or requests are. I'm not exactly sure. The last item I have under my report is, again, I know you all love this topic, our work sessions. I was yesterday in finance, and I think in courthouse had asked the question during our last work session with this board. We talked about having some scheduled again, but I don't know that we ever settled on what that would look like. So yesterday at finance, the suggestion was for scheduling a work session on July 14th. It's a non-board week. And I believe that's a Tuesday at 8:30. So I just wanted to, and then perhaps through the budgeting cycle, looking at a monthly schedule and an off-board week ongoing. And I'm just looking for feedback.
I think that's fine with me. I would say though that if we can schedule it. If we don't need it, then we don't have it. Does that make sense?
I think it makes more sense just to not have it out there. I think let's just decide if we're going to do it.
Yeah, that's fine.
And just not schedule it. I mean, I think with budgeting coming up, we probably need, a work session to get through that budgeting process, which is why I said let's look at maybe one in July, one in August. Then I don't know that we.
Yeah, that's fine.
Once we set the preliminary levy in September, we maybe all need another work session before the end of the year, but.
Yeah, we all know I'm not a big work session person. I don't mind them, but I don't want to, somehow we made it this far without hardly ever having any. And I'm not saying that they're.
You didn't work with me before.
I think work sessions, we all dread them when you go into them, but I think the discussions and the dialogue and the working together, we come out better every time, so. I don't like seeing them on my agenda either, but they're good for us.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Varberg suggested, let's have a very specific topic, which I'm certainly not opposed to, and budget's going to be a big deal coming up. We're starting to ask at finance, what's it looking like for next year, and so.
Well, and we have had, as you recall, we've had some very specific topics in there and some good discussion, and I've kept those as rolling topics so that we can hopefully come to some type of consensus in the work session.
So yes, we are going to do this?
I'm hearing no opposition, so I'm going to take that as a yes for July 14th.
8:30, 10:30? So which?
I think we usually do an hour and a half, but we have went over, but I've tried to keep them within an hour and a half.
Okay, I'll put it on July 14th.
Yeah, it seems like after an hour and a half, all work is done.
Peggy, you want to send out an invite?
Yes, I just wanted to bring it to your attention. Apparently on the calendar, there may be an NRM.
We have NRM, so.
Yeah, so do we want to go after that, or do we want to ask them to move that? I'm fine with either. Well,
yeah, I think when I looked at my calendar, I think I had to be done.
Same day.
I had to be back home by 11.
4-hour meeting?
Well, if you're going to ruin 2 days for me,
How about if you do NRM at 10? Then that'll keep us out of our work session.
Just move it.
Can we go earlier?
NRM, now that we
Us?
have outside agencies.
I'm fine with
coming in,
that coming
It's a
out.
little bit harder to move also.
What time do you normally have it at?
8:30.
You figure it out.
Okay,
I mean,
that's fine.
We could do a bright and early sunrise.
I'm not a morning person,
I mean, I would be
So
fine
either-
with that.
Madam
but
Chair.
I will
it's
do,
either-
I will do whatever.
I'm okay with early too.
It's either moving NRM or try to get them both in, but in a reasonable time. Either we go after or before NRM or move NRM. That's the,
I mean, we could.
But we'll
we
do
I
it
could
think
that
that's what
morning.
I'm
join
hearing, that is
governance
what
at
I'm,
7.
yeah.
We could do a
I
work session
don't,
at 7.
that's fine with me. I don't
They
care.
may have, I'll ask Mitch, it may already be, it's just a reoccurring meeting, so I don't know if that's the date that they actually are gonna do it on again. Sometimes
Our
they-
NRMs are pretty,
Pretty consistent, okay.
Would you be better with the 7? Are you a morning person, Richard?
Well, I can be. I'm not a real big morning person.
Oh,
I'm not real excited about a 7.
oh my gosh, you guys.
I'm retired, I'm not getting up at 6.
Whatever
I-
to make work.
Carrie was-
I will take a look and make something work. How
Send
about
us
that?
an invite,
If we
then
have to
accept
change
it.
the work session to later, the 14th might not work for me because I believe I had something that I needed to be back at 11 for.
That's what I
But I'll-
remember you saying,
Yeah,
yes.
so,
Okay, we'll,
We can have NRM at the same time. I'll do both meetings.
oh, you're running back and forth
Yeah,
to
well,
rooms?
I'll just have the table on both sides.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
do you
I'll-
multitask well?
No.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll work on the schedule.
If it's not
Yeah,
a big deal, just move NRM.
will do. I'll figure it out. I'll let you know what I figure out. All right, Madam Chair, if there's nothing else for me, then that's all I have.
Okay. Do we have the
MAS.
presentation, EMAS?
Yep, Trevor, sure.
Trevor? Hello, Trevor.
It's on. Well, good morning. Thanks for hosting me today. My name's Trevor Janish. I've been in the community for over 10 years. Assistant head coach of girls soccer, drive school bus, and pastor at church in Detroit Lakes. But a passion of ours is what I present to you today is Emmaus Crossroads. At a Becker County youth event just a couple years ago, the students were in the process of playing a game, Never Have I Ever. And the statement was given, never have I ever thought about committing suicide. 90% of those students stood, identifying that they had thought about committing suicide. 2 of those students in that youth event were my daughters. In 2017, at the age of 19, my eldest nephew died from suicide. And from that moment, my wife and I have been searching for understanding as to what led to that decision. For the past 4 years, we have committed time and resources to researching the depthness of suicide and mental health in the high school and college age students in the Detroit Lakes area. In your packet, you received a flyer that looked like this that shared some of the statistics that I will go over shortly. These statistics apply to our students, our community, and our county. Many believe that these issues only happen to those who are outcast, socially awkward, or unpopular. But that is not the case. On April 26, 2023, a student named Brandon Nelson at Fergus Falls, a junior, died from suicide. He was a popular football and hockey player for the Otters. Over the last 5 years, I'm aware of at least 5 students who have died from suicide in our area. According to the National Substance Abuse and Mental Health Survey, 12 to 25-year-olds are 2 times more likely to die from suicide than any other age category. Based on the same survey, statistically, that means 78 of our DL students have made a suicide plan and 43 have attempted in the past year. In 2018, Essentia Health had shared that 1 in 5 students had suicidal thoughts, and in 2022, that number went to 1 in 2. Center for Disease Control in 2023 shared that 40% felt persistent feelings of sadness and hopelessness, 20% reported seriously considering attempting suicide, 16% reported making a suicide plan, and 9% reported they attempted suicide. Lower self-esteem, lack of community and social connection, and an unhealthy mental health leads to poor decisions as they try to take hopelessness and sadness or deal with those. In the same survey, the CDC shows 17% using marijuana and 22% trying to take care of this illness with alcohol or other drugs. Consumption of chemicals is a symptom of a greater issue in people's lives. Treatments have their place, but they are post-traumatic system centers. Where Emmaus Crossroads, our hope is to be a pre-traumatic preventative resource. Emmaus Crossroads exists to journey alongside students in the crossroads of their lives. It is a third space for high school and college-age students in Detroit Lakes area. It is a place that will help bring a smile to their face, a place where training opportunities will be provided to learn new skills from third-party trainers. It is a gathering space free of mood-altering chemicals. Emmaus provides a place for students to simply gather, whether it be to celebrate a team victory, hang out with friends, or have a space to study or do homework with adults that can assist. It is also the heart of Emmaus Crossroads to empower students to grow in adulthood, to help resource them with tools that will help them be successful and thrive. Just in this last year, we have provided Race to the Lake, an event for high school and college age students, Light Up the Night, Suicide Awareness Night, and a New Year's Eve all-nighter. We had 43 students from various backgrounds, homeschool, public school, and different activities engaged together as came as strangers and they left as friends. Here's some final numbers I just want to throw your way. Detroit Lakes High School has an average of 200 students graduating per year. You take that over the 4 classes, and that comes out to 800 students. 339 students are involved in fall activities, including sports, BPA, student council, speech, knowledgeable, etc. 410 are involved in winter activities, 320 are involved in spring activities. That leaves an average of 443 students who are not involved in any extracurricular activity. These numbers are specifically Detroit Lakes High School. That does not include homeschoolers, does not include PSEO students, does not include online academy, or other school districts around us who would benefit from Emmaus. So besides their home, where do 443 high school students and 1,250 19 to 25-year-old young adults hang out in Detroit Lakes? Where do they have to go? Where mood-altering chemicals are not present. There are many great establishments to eat at, get a cup of coffee, but some are extremely small. Some have hours that are limited, and majority have bars or serve alcohol at them. The mere presence can develop a temptation to try to treat their pain through these mood-altering beverages. The challenge Emmaus has been faced with over these last 4 years is, it's commonly stated, we need this. Our students need this, but very few are willing to put their names behind an organization that is willing to address a topic with a negative stigma or unveil topics that go against socially accepted norms. We have launched the Blackout Suicide, which you also received in your packet. It's a fundraising initiative that raising this money would raise $25,000 to help keep us going over these next 6 months. Did not come here to intend to ask for money. I came to bring awareness, but I do want to just bring you awareness that this is a $1.4 million project that we've been on a journey with. We acquired Gary Lee's auto body 2 years ago, and we started the remodel process, but we need $130,000 just to open, $30,000 just to keep pressing on. So if there is a desire to address the issues in our students, the chemical dependency, you mentioned the opiate epidemic, students need to be given tools to build a strong mental health to make healthy decisions before life gets tough. And Emmaus Crossroads exists to do just that, to build healthy minds to make healthy choices. If you have any suggestions of support, please reach out to me. My contact information is on that flyer. I just want to say thank you for your willingness to serve our county with integrity and diligence. It may not be said enough to you guys, but thank you. It is noticed. And thank you for spending a few minutes listening to me about Emmaus Crossroads.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
I believe did Emmaus get some funding from us before through the?
We were the first recipient of the opiate grant the very first year. And so we are very grateful for that recipient. That's what got us launched.
Okay.
So we do appreciate that.
Are you working with anybody to get grants?
So we were just at Dakota Medical Foundation training last week. So we've been pre-approved for, or been on list for Giving Hearts Day. We have worked with Creating Community Consulting and reached out there as well. Been, of course, through the gamut with all the meetings around town and organizations too.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Are you affiliated with a national group or Camp Emmaus?
We're not.
Okay. I know my kids went to Camp Emmaus.
I just heard about that camp about 4 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
For the first time, so yes.
Yeah, that's a think it's a Lutheran camp.
Mhm.
And I do want to stress, I have two friends that that have been affected by suicide, and they're not, I mean, they were the two, one, I think they were both Fargo-Moorhead area, amazing kids. And there's no understanding how an athletic and so the leaders of their school, and it's hard to understand. And as a parent, certainly I worry about my own kids, and mine are in that age group too. And it's hard to understand that mind is still growing so much for them, and how to guide them correctly. So kudos to you for making an attempt to try to steer them in the right direction. But
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I used to teach, I taught 28 years at Trail Lakes High School. In those 28 years, we had 2 kids that were in high school that committed suicide while they were in high school. And then I believe there was 4, maybe 5 within 4 years out of high school committed suicide. So I appreciate what you do. So
Thank you.
It's terrible.
it's hard to get in their heads that the
Yeah.
problems that they have now will get better.
Absolutely.
They're big, significant problems, and as you age to be our age, you look at them and say they were nothing. Wait till you get older. There's some real issues. No, you'll learn the significance of, they will learn that the significance of those wasn't as grand as they thought they were. And
Yep.
that's what I try to get to my kids. There's no problem that we can't get through. I don't know. I still worry. I mean, I know that I'm not invincible, that it can't happen. So.
Yep.
Madam Chair, Trevor, what did the opioid, what was that contribution to your,
We received $170,000 the first year.
and what year was that?
That would have been the 2024, the initial.
Okay.
And that application process, now we're meeting, or right after this, there will be
Yep.
a request from our committee. Have you applied since?
We applied each year. We were denied last year, and then I'm already aware of the results for this year.
Okay.
Or the recommendation, I should say.
Okay, and I would assume now we see just one sentence on why things weren't approved. You're being steered or coached to how to make those more.
We have not received any last year or this year, any correction of how we can
What makes
fulfill.
it rise to the top?
No.
Okay, well, we'll maybe when Denise comes up, we can ask her how we can educate those that are denied and to move forward in the next process, what they're looking for or something. Maybe.
I know for us, I'll just speak a little plainly here, is in the narrative of the reasoning for the opiate grant, there isn't a great objectives listed. It's very vague. And so I saw the recommendation where we fit. Doesn't have our name on it, but I know which one we were. And the reasoning that they put was not part of the objectives of why we scored low. So the objectives just aren't as clear as to what they're measuring for us to hit the metrics.
Okay.
So personally, we're a little frustrated the last 2 years because of that, but we understand there's a system. And we understand there's other reasons, there's other grants and all that kind of stuff that are out there. This isn't it's great that when we received it, we're very grateful we had it, but there's so many great organizations that need it too.
Yep, and I think part of it is what you're doing is great. But you're at such a like at the very, very beginning process that, we've kind of given you that seed, and now hopefully that can continue to grow until you're open, and then we can have the, get out there to be able to provide those services once you're able to get up and going.
Yep.
So, okay.
Thanks for that.
Anything
Thank you
else?
guys. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thanks, Jerry.
Jim, do you want to come on up?
Madam Chair, would you want to do him prior to the business subsidy?
Yeah, we'll get him.
Okay, great. I just
Get
wanted
him
to
in and out of
remember
here.
that you didn't forget it.
Madam Chair, I think the request that Jim is, I was at the Lake Ida meeting, which is right next to CASA 4. They have numerous new buildings and construction going right across the road from the lake, so there's going to be more walk across the lake traffic to get to the lake, because they have new houses going to be walking up and have lake access, so there's will be foot traffic in that area. There has been a fatality on that road.
Madam Chair, I'll move to approve this resolution.
Second.
All right, we have a motion
You
and
just
a
want to keep me
second.
quiet, so.
Do you want to say anything more on it,
No.
Jim?
No, this is just the start of the process. We need a resolution from the board here to initiate MnDOT speed study. Timing-wise, my goal is that they would collect data this summer. Then they send that down to their central office and go through their process. Previous years, it's taken, maybe up to 2 or 3 years. They are expediting this process quicker. Hopefully, they could have results by next year where we could put signage up, would be my best guess at what would happen, or wishful guess, I guess.
Yeah.
Madam Chair and Jim, so this will go from that intersection to the church, around the curve, how far?
West Lake Ida Lane, which is right across the church.
That is,
stated.
okay.
That is my request.
Okay,
They
yeah.
kind of look and determine, driveway spacings and stuff. They have their process.
Okay, all right, yep, it says in here.
Okay, any further discussion? If not, I'll call a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Jim. Sorry I couldn't
That
get
was
you in there
in
sooner.
stereo.
All right, next thing on the agenda is we have to set a public hearing for the business subsidy policy
July 7th.
for July 7th at 9 a.m.
So moved.
I'll
All right.
second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, Denise.
Didn't see me back there? Good morning.
Morning, Denise.
Morning, Denise.
Oh, I gotta give you something for a second.
Thank you.
Was this yesterday?
Yes.
Thanks, Denise.
Is this different?
It's got the names on it, though, and you got the names.
It has the names for the recommendations, which was recommended by Carrie at our Human Services Committee. It came forward and the changes were made while I was on vacation. And the updated form went on finance, but not board accidentally. So you're getting it this morning, and that's the only change, is that the names are added for the recommended applicants.
Would it be possible in the future to get the names for the non-recommended ones too?
We discussed
could,
that there.
we can.
We
But
can't
they're,
do that?
I did some, well, I need to talk to the county attorney and get his.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Yeah, 'cause
talked
we
about
talked
that.
about that at the work
But
session.
this is what we
We,
agreed to.
and
at
we
this
talked about
point.
it at finance yesterday, and Carrie, I believe, did talk to Brian.
It's
or was it-
public information versus the
Yeah,
HIPAA
and I
thing. We're
agreed to
trying
provide it after, once the
Yes.
decision is made, if that would help.
We just can't provide it prior to us voting. We can provide it, just not prior.
Madam Chair, Carrie, would you,
I can try. There was Brian and I had discussions, as did Denise, with regards to the difficulty is, at what point does it become public information? At what point is the process completed? And I know Denise had an opinion. I reviewed the statute. Brian, I sent him the statute as well. And again, it's really a policy decision at that point, because my belief, and Brian agreed, I don't know that Denise agrees, that the scoring has already been done and these are the recommendations, but the final decision really is with this board. So that is why the names were provided, because this board really wanted to have all the information before the approval. Again, we can have further discussions about those that are not awarded once the final decision is made here. That is, I believe, public information, if that helps.
The statute specifically says that it's all of the scoring materials and the application materials are public once a final contract has been negotiated, even past your final decisions, so.
I would assume that if we approve, we are approving a contract that will be the final contract decision. So when this board approves it, it is final. We're not approving something that might change after we sign.
No, that's correct.
So when this board approves it, it's
Yes.
done.
Yep, correct.
There's
Well,
no
but
ongoing.
it's done, but there's a contract that needs to be signed with the applicant also.
Correct.
It's our contract. I mean, they're not going to be
The
able to
terms
change
won't
it or
change.
negotiate it.
Right, correct.
Madam Chair, my concern is, I would like to know
I would too.
why and I think they have a right to know why they didn't get granted internal and external. I mean, that's not enough. And if it's a waiver to say you can use our name or whatever, I want to know.
I want
And
to
if
know
I'm
too.
deciding, I
Yeah,
want to know who it's going to.
I mean, it's not that I don't believe that you guys do an awesome job or do a good job of scoring and criteria. I just want to know.
Is the scoring on the non-recommended ones, are they listed at the scoring height? Is there points that you've awarded to, I mean, so as the top one, the first one, are they closest to being approved or is it just random?
Well, you
No,
see the
it
score
says
there,
no-
69 out of 80,
And they
61
didn't
out of
provide,
80.
it's incomplete, no letter of commitment as is required. I mean, there's a reason
the
for
score.
each.
Yeah, each reasoning is listed in the note section.
So it is scored in
And it
in
also,
order.
yeah, each applicant has a final score, which is reflected here. And it is ordered by, just happens to be ordered by score. As you can see, well, you can't see because not all of the numbers here, but
Well, in my opinion, if you want to, I mean, if we're not going to just take the recommendations, we have to get more involved because the information that we have we cannot make.
We can't make a
decisions
decision with the information we have. Yeah,
With
exactly.
this much information. We just would have to accept the recommendation. So I mean,
Which is the purpose of the opioid advisory.
Today's, I'm just willing, if we want to get involved in that, I think you should assign commissioners to that committee to have input on.
I
at
am
that
on that
level.
committee.
You're
I'm
on
just not on the
review
review.
team itself.
That's what I'm saying.
Correct.
Put on the review committee to have that, so if we feel I'm supporting moving forward with these recommendations today.
I am too, because I don't have enough information
And
to say anything different.
So I'm just saying, it's a big ask to dive into this, and I don't think the information that we need to make those decisions is not public information. I think that's clear.
Absolutely.
So
Correct.
if we want to get more involved, you're going to have to get on that committee, and it's my opinion, to add commissioners that have a feel that they want to be vested in that decision-making. And I don't have a problem with that. If someone wants to, if we can amend that committee structure to add to one or two commissioners.
I
But-
believe I suggested that at the work session,
Yes,
that
you
was an
did.
option,
So-
so.
I mean, I think.
And
I'm not real interested in diving deep into, I'm, as much as I would like to be the end call on everything, I would defer.
I would be willing to do that. If
I'm not interested in sitting on the committee.
I would do that.
So,
Do we want two
I think we
commissioners, or
should
do we
have, I
want
think
one
we should have
commissioner?
two, because it's a big deal.
well, let's review this, and Carrie, why don't you bring this back to our
Yeah.
next meeting to say if we should, and talk with. if
What's
you need-
more to talk about?
We'll determine who wants it, and we'll move it, put it on the agenda the next meeting, create the appointments.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm already on there.
Well, you're on the human services, but not
You're
on the
talking
No, I'm on the
specifically
opioid
about the,
advisory.
yeah,
The review.
scoring, the review.
review.
Is
So
that what you're saying?
Are we still on the topic number one?
Yeah, well, we haven't gotten
We
there.
haven't even
We didn't-
discussed that at all. I handed this out and then
We just
Let's
went down.
let's
went into
start at the
discussion
top
about
of the
number
agenda.
2. So-
Yeah, we started on number 2. Let's go back to number 1, and then we can.
Okay.
Well, let's finish this.
I'm-
We're already into it. Let's not do it
I mean,
again.
I
Let's
think
finish
that's
this
fine,
and then
too.
go back to one.
Well, we have to approve them then. You don't want to do.
Madam Chair, I will move to approve the opioid settlement fund recommendations,
Round 3.
round 3.
Second for a total of 276.60. Is that acceptable?
No.
Total of
228.
28,000
Oh, requested
recommended color,
of
dollar
228.
amount.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And then
Just put under appointments at the next board meeting.
I don't know that we need
If
an
Dave wants.
appointment for
Why
the
don't we-
review committee, like, because I'm already on the advisory council. I have no
Madam
problem.
Chair, Erica and Phil are currently on the opioid advisory council. If
I don't think Phil is. I think Phil
He has
just
been
came.
kind of, yeah, kind of
Madam
attending the
Chair,
last few.
why don't you work with Carrie and determine
So
how you
we'll-
want to move forward with it, put on appointments? I mean,
Yep.
if need be.
If we want, if we want a second one on there, we'll have to look at our committees. I think we
Do
only
we have
one, but.
any bylaws or policy on your committee?
Yes,
I
I've
think-
provided that multiple times, yes.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
we
I read
want
it,
to
yeah.
make sure that's included, that,
It is not currently, so
That's
we'd have
not
to
it.
amend those. Mhm.
that's why we need to amend that voting right for that
And,
committee.
and I don't have to be, if nobody else wants, like, if Phil, you want to, that's fine.
So
I
what
just
we'll need
offered,
is
yeah.
an amendment to the
Yeah.
policy for voting right members on that review committee. And then that they would extend to the Human Service Committee commissioners.
Or, well,
Well,
no,
Richard's on Human Services.
He would defer that to someone else.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, I do not see an opioid settlement committee
can I see it?
list.
Well,
took a
the
speed
committee,
read.
when I was on Human Services with Erica, we were the opioid
Human
settlement.
Services people were.
Yeah, but we weren't on the review committee, but we were on the
Advisory council.
advisory council, yes.
Regardless, we need to change the
Yeah,
bylaws of
that's
that
why you
committee.
don't see it on
May.
there, because it's part of Human Services.
Madam Chair, just for clarification, and Denise can pipe in here, when we talk about the scoring committee, I think maybe some clarification, the scoring committee makes a recommendation to the advisory committee, correct?
No, we come here first for the
Oh,
final
you
decision
do.
before we
Okay,
share
that's
that
right.
information to the advisory council.
So unless one were on the scoring committee, you wouldn't have all the detailed
Correct.
information, is that?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Are we just bringing it back for,
I don't know.
Yeah,
what
we'll
we're
bring it
doing.
back.
bring it back for review of the bylaws and then necessary appointments if needed?
Okay.
Yep.
Just one more question. So is there a number that they have to attain to get or is it do you lower it or raise that qualifying number?
It's a dollar amount, isn't it?
Well, right now, the score of 70 and 80 got it, the score of 69 to 80 did not. So I'm just wondering, is that
Well, the score is definitely a large factor of the decision, but also so is the numbers served.
I'm just asking, is there a line, if you get 70, you get funding, partial or some, or in 69 you do not? Or is
No,
is
it's
that
just,
floating?
I have it sorted by score, so the top scorers will get consideration first, of course. And so that's how we arrived to the not recommended for the lower scores.
So the 69 out of 80 didn't get it because we didn't have enough funding.
They did not have a letter of commitment as required.
Yeah, there were a number
So they
of,
didn't have.
No, I'm just saying, but if we distributed 228,000, if we'd have had 250,000, would they have got 15 or 17?
Not if they,
no, we
everybody else
wouldn't do it,
received the letter
we
of
wouldn't have done a
commitment. They didn't.
partial.
Okay.
Yeah, because they asked for 243,000.
Okay.
We wouldn't have said, you can have 15,000. We do encourage them to apply it during the next RFP session, and if they should happen to call and ask us in their application, questions about their application, we do share information
You
to
share
help, to
feedback
assist
on
them,
that.
absolutely.
So here's my question. So because they had a no letter of commitment, no matter what their score would have been, they wouldn't have got
They
it?
would not have
Okay.
been, correct.
Gotcha.
They were,
That's my
in
question.
effect, a knockout, yes.
Okay.
So my question still is, there's no set number that they have to attain. That's referenced, but it's not rock solid that this
Correct.
number will get something, this number won't.
Correct.
Okay, okay. Gotcha. Thanks, Denise.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
Let's go back to the caseworks.
Number one, we need an addendum to our CaseWorks software license agreement for our case status tracker pilot summary. And the reason for that is that the state has a pilot that they're offering, and we jumped on the opportunity because it does provide clients with direct access to their case status information. This tool helps clients and helps us to towards some efficiency to reduce the number of calls that are coming in to our income maintenance staff. And so they have more time to work on the actual cases. And so we are entering into a pilot at this point, but at some point, it says here July 20th, potentially, there's a version and we'll be required to take part in that. So at this point, it's voluntary pilot, but we do need this addendum in order to
Madam Chair,
move
I will
forward.
move to approve the NCT addendum to CaseWorks software licensing agreement for case status tracker pilot.
I'll second.
All right, any further discussion?
Madam Chair, is there a fee?
There's no fee.
No.
Do we anticipate a fee once it's become required?
Not that I've heard, no.
At this point, the state's covering the fee, right?
Mhm, correct.
All right, any other questions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, the last item is agreement with United Behavioral Health, and this is to enter into a reimbursement situation for SUD services for case coordination and case management.
So this is for us to be reimbursed for services that we're providing, such as comprehensive, is that what they're called now, assessments?
Well, case coordination and case management.
Yep.
Madam Chair, Denise, why weren't we reimbursed before?
Because we potentially didn't provide these exact services. And then there are we're doing some fine tuning to make sure that we're receiving all the revenues that we absolutely can. And we just
Thank you.
kind of found that this
Yeah.
was missed, yeah.
I
For a
think I
bit of time.
recall when we approved, this was one of the goals when we approved the second supervisor, because it was a
Absolutely.
very,
It was a very intensive process.
yes. Mhm.
Absolutely, yep. And we needed more manpower in order
Yep.
to get there, yep.
Okay, any other questions? Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the United Behavioral Health contract.
All right, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Madam Chair, could we take a break?
Yeah, we will take a 10-minute break, 7-minute break.
5 is fine.
Let's come back at 10:15.
Okay.
Thank you, Denise.
Thank you.
Thanks, Denise.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Denise.
It
I think
looks
the only
fine
one
on-
I had
it
was
looks fine on the
Sarnanen.
screen.
I had Taylor, Holland.
Phil had several. Whoa.
I was asking, I go, do you guys want it dim in here?
That's
Because
the guy in the shade.
somebody must have turned it down. You didn't even
Well,
notice,
we
did you?
were here till 9 o'clock last night.
Okay, so it kept going. I was gonna say, I think there's more adjustment on this.
Okay.
Boy, that's terrible.
Okay. Are we ready to get started? Mr. Brislin? You're up.
I was hoping you're going on schedule here. I just jumped into the seat, so.
Yep.
Well, good morning. What I have today is a resolution 06-26-2B to combine 2 vacant part-time custodial positions to 1 full-time position. I think you guys got the numbers in there. I'm
And
good this year for budget-wise.
I'm sure, yeah,
Um,
just what I was going to say, Brent. He's been without some help for quite a while, so the budget will balance this year because of the shortfall in staff. Annually, though, you can see it's going to be an increase of the cost of the benefits.
Yeah.
The other thing is we offered suggestions that possibly in the future we look at contracting certain buildings out maybe that are extensions of the campus.
For cleaning and.
For cleaning,
Just,
yeah.
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 So I don't know if you had a chance to review any of those or,
I haven't. It's the services are, it's going to be quite a bit as far as cost goes. But like I said, I think by going to this full-time, our applicant pool will be increased. It's just so hard right now to hire part-time, knowing what people are looking for. But, and then again, going forward, I mean, we had mentioned in some of the committees that, you know, kind of where I'm at. I know Phil had asked, you know, how many people are on staff and that. And quite honestly, we're a lot less than when I first started here. We're doing the best we can. And I think with a full-time employee will really help. They seem to have more buy-in, if I can say it that way. But then again, going forward, you know, we've added a few buildings that we weren't really cleaning in the past, which is the new highway building. You can about imagine the square footage there. We've been able to cover like the jail, parts of that. But this building and all of this here is a lot of square footage. And depending on how busy the courts get and that, it can cause a little bit more extensive cleaning. So again, I've been without one of the part-time since November. And then I just had a recent retirement that combined the other one, so.
And we also talked about, like, for example, at the highway, sometimes you're only able to go there once a week to clean.
Once a week.
Which is not good, you know, and it should be at least 3 probably.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think,
I'm not sure on that.
Yeah, I don't know
mean,
that we-
3
I would agree.
times
Or
a week,
two,
I mean,
two for sure. I mean, well, your bathrooms get cleaned once a week. I mean,
Well, we're running into the, you know, the workers coming in from the shop and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So some of the floors there are needing more care than they did earlier. So we're trying to get ahead of that. And believe me, that tar and everything else that gets accumulated on their boots, it's tough to clean. It takes a little bit more extensive in time. So we're trying to stay ahead of it as best we can, working with Jonah and them out there, so.
our employees should be doing everything they can to make your job easier. And if they're not, and it's egregious, I want to know.
Well, I don't think they're doing that on purpose. They're
No,
just, you know, they're working.
No, that's a work
putting
day.
out.
I get that, but I mean,
I think Phil's referring to, we don't need a cleaner out there 3 times a week either, you know.
yeah, maybe 3 is a little excessive, but 1 is not enough.
I don't know.
And
I
that's
mean,
not the plan going ahead. I'll just to be,
No, it's just an example. Yeah.
I guess you'd have, I mean, I'm not real familiar with the requirements, but I think it's something to look into and see what, I don't know, is 1 enough? I
mean, do we
have?
do we have a public facing, I mean, other than the entryway there? Or is it just,
Bathrooms, meeting room.
magistrate,
in the highway you're
Officers.
referring to? Yeah, there's the locker rooms, which are bathrooms too. There's kind of a unisex bathroom too in the hallways. Again, there's hallways that are the hard surface and then there's carpeting. And they kind of transition. If you've been out there, you'll see that's kind of tough to kind of keep that maintained there.
why
but
did we put carpet out there?
you
what
know,
were we
I'm sure
thinking?
it was a sound thing, or I'm sure it was just, I mean, it looks nice, feels nice on the feet for the
I wasn't
office
here then.
workers, but
Well, there is office space in there. There's office rooms and cubicle area. That's where
I mean, we do window cleaning. I mean, I didn't mention that to Phil earlier, but I mean, there's,
You have enough work.
there's a lot there.
Madam Chair, having frequented all these buildings like we do, the courthouse, the sheriff's, not the jail, but the sheriff's house over here, the jail workers areas, up there, HHW building, I take it for granted. And I've really never noticed, oh boy, that they need to take care of that, what's going on. So, I mean, compliments to you and your staff for doing a really nice job. So.
And with these vacancies, it's,
Yeah.
try to keep them motivated still, knowing that, and again, listening what you guys come up with and trying to get another full-time, they'll be pleased if we go through with this, that we're still, helping them out too, so.
Do we have part-time now?
We do.
I mean, do we have part-time that would be
3
interested
part-time, 3
in
full-time.
full-time that?
I don't believe
We
so.
may, okay.
No, I don't believe any of them were gonna apply for a full-time position.
Okay.
Madam Chair, and Carrie, maybe you can help with this. So going forward, you said we're good for this year in the budget, but going forward, the 2026 increase cost was 7,700. Going forward,
the 26 will be
What will-
captured within his budget.
correct.
Yeah.
What is the difference of what next year would be?
About 19,000.
19,000.
Where is that on here?
That's on the far right column.
For benefits.
Okay, so it's basically the health.
The health coverage, correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
This year, right now, as I said, I'm at a 36,000 shortfall under budget. So that 7,700 obviously we're well under that, so that would be covered. But it's just the next year I would budget in, if we go forward with this, the extra 19,000.
Madam Chair, motion approved 2B.
I'll second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you, Brent.
Thanks, Brent.
Yeah.
All right, Sheriff Glander, come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right.
Hey, lame duck.
Yeah. Good morning.
Morning.
Madam Chair, members of the board, I have one item, and that is a service agreement for replacement of batteries out at our jail, batteries for a UPS, which is here I go again.
Uninterrupted power supply.
That's exactly what it is. And again, it's to maintain continuity of operations within the jail if the power would go down. The agreement that we're looking at is a cost of $9,914.53, which is within the budget.
Madam Chair, we talked about this at finance yesterday, and Judy was there. So this they're used daily, they are used regularly, but this would be, we have a generator out there, so this would get us from power out to the generator, which could be anywhere from 2 to 20 seconds. But this battery system needs to be in place. I'm sure there's criteria for jails and stuff, so we need to do it. And I'll move to approve this battery replacement proposal for the jail.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. I think one other thing just to point out is we are overdue in, like,
Yes.
so that it's time for us to,
These last.
we're not
I
doing
think-
it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying we're doing it
Yeah.
timely.
I think it's 10 years they last, isn't it? What it is?
I think it's.
6.
Eight, 7, or 8?
For 5 to 7.
8, okay,
When you're kind of on borrowed time.
Okay. Okay.
Odd things with batteries.
Gotcha.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thanks, Don.
All right, Judy.
Thanks, Lane.
Madam Chair, Judy, well, I received an email from Judy requesting to amend the agenda to remove these items. I did not see the email until after we got through that, so she does not have the information that she was hoping for to present this, so.
For the Microsoft server, I have the others.
Oh, you did get there, okay.
Okay, so we're not going to take any action on the Microsoft server
Nope.
licenses, but we will on the
Cameras?
camera.
Yes.
But we did add to the agenda that you have to do a tutoring class for commissioners to get us to two.
I am,
for
that's why I brought my
VPN.
laptop. I am ready for that.
We'll do that.
So, good morning.
I'm serious.
Yeah, I am.
No, I'm okay with that. Good morning, Chair. Yeah. It takes about 15 minutes per person, though, so.
I'll start.
We'll figure out how we want to do that. And like Erica might be able to say, you
I have
know, I'm gonna use somebody else to do this. And I'm fine with that.
Okay. She's got connections.
I have connection.
And so we can figure it out. So, good morning, Chairwoman and Commissioners. Today I'm bringing forward two options for us to replace our camera servers. It's actually upgrading our camera servers. We've had the current system for 6 years, and it is no longer supportable in October. So we want to get this in place and ready to go. The two options are, one is to replace the server and replace 41 cameras. And those are the 41 cameras that are called Interlogics. And they are cameras that are, they're strongly recommended not to be used by any kind of government entities.
Made in China.
Yes, they were made in China, and we have 41 of them, and the model number doesn't matter, but, and then the other one is, that was a little less on the budget, and we would do 20 this year and 21 next year. So that's option two. The one is 49,000, the other one is 37,000. I only budgeted, because of the information I had at the time, $40,000. I've already, by us changing the way we're going to do our mobile data management solution, we are going to recoup about $5,000 from that. So we're now at about $45,000 compared to $37,000. So we've got about, I still have to kind of figure out how to make up that other $4,000, but I think I've got a way to do it. And I didn't bring that piece of paper with me to explain it in excruciating detail, but I could.
But you did say yesterday that if we weren't to do all 41, this cost will go up next year.
I believe this cost will go up like it did from last year to this year, yes.
That's what we talked about at courthouse too.
So I think it does make sense for us to replace all 41 cameras.
Okay.
Now, that's my thoughts.
My opinion too. So.
Yes, and if you're gonna, I mean, to have Arvid come out and do two batches, it's gonna be not cost effective either.
Yep.
I mean, rather than one.
That's right.
Yeah, in addition to the additional cost, that the cameras will go up, so.
I think we just, in the motion, then just identify how, if you want to bring that out of reserve, any balance or
I think we do that.
any overage.
Okay.
Any overage, we'll just take out of reserves.
Will come out of reserves and
Okay.
and note that, so when we see that flagged item in our budget, that we'll know that this is what we approved it and why. So.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Madam Chair, I'll move to approve the camera server replacement option number one, replacing 41 cameras with a cost of $49,000.
All right, do I have a second?
I'll second with the, if the chair or the motion maker would just add that the overage will come out of reserves from, that's
Certainly.
not budgeted.
All right,
Yes.
any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Madam Chair, just a trivia question, which we should know. How many cameras do we have on all of our buildings?
A guy emailed me that yesterday. Can I just,
So we got sheriff, jail, courthouse, the courtrooms, human services, and highway. How many total cameras do we have? Indoor and outdoor?
Judy,
Richard?
Give me a hint, Judy.
777.
You should know on the safety committee.
We have 111 indoor and outdoor cameras servicing our county buildings.
You could have said they're all the same number. That'd make good sense.
Okay, meeting is adjourned.
this all,
Thank you, everybody.
that also goes through the hallway, the walk hallway through the courts from,
Yeah.
there's numerous
Elevators.
cameras just in that.
Yeah, I thought that was really